everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo. So today I'm working on my set of giveaway prizes again today. I think this will probably be the last video, hopefully. So today I wanted us to focus on making up the pocket itself, so you can see how I'm doing that, just in case it gives you some ideas. So this was my prototype. So I've got this little vellum pocket in the front, just for some small pieces of ephemera. I've got a pocket here. These both go down right the way down to the very bottom of the pocket. And then I've also got a slightly gusseted pocket in the top that goes all the way down as well. So that's sort of the kind of thing that I want to make, but obviously I'm going to decorate them up. So that was my prototype, and I thought today we would get going with these two that I've got. So if I show you sort of how I got to this point. So I've got two pieces of, this is just scrapbook paper. One is quite thick and the rest is quite thin. So we've got two bits of scrapbook paper, and I tried to get them so that they were a good size for popping into a journal. So they are height-wise about 8 inches, just under, by just over 5 inches. Now my journals normally come out about 9 by 6, so I think they'll be a good size to take up most of the page. So I've got these two pieces which will be joined together, and that's what's going to give us this nice big pocket at the back, and then obviously we want to add a gusset to it. I've got a smaller piece here which is the sort of the middle panel, a larger piece here which takes up the full bit to the bottom, and then a piece of vellum. So that's sort of the construction, and then obviously we're gonna decorate it up and everything. So shall we give this a go today? Alrighty, so and with this one I've just glued it using my tacky glue, but I'm actually going to stitch these ones. Not for any reason other than the fact that I think it might look nicer having this nice border in stitching. So that's the only reason I'm going to do it, but you don't have to, you could just glue it like I've done that one. Okay, so I'm going to start by gluing the vellum onto the front pocket. So I'm going to take them one at a time, just because it is the same process, but we'll do this one first of all. So just folding this over to get the middle point, and then I'm going to pop in my notch maker. So I hope you're all well today. Thanks so much for joining me again. It's fabulous to have you here. So I'm just popping in these notches. Okay. Can't see where I got the... Oh, there it is. Oops. Having the piece of paper flicking at myself. There we go. So I'm just going to glue the vellum onto that piece, just so that it's down, and then I don't want to lose the vellum, that's mostly why. So I'm just going to put a couple of dobs of glue in the corners. Just because I'm sewing it, I don't need to have lots of glue on the vellum. This is just to hold it in place whilst I sew it. But obviously if you were going to glue it like I did the first one the whole way round, then yeah, you would glue all 3 sides. Oops. All fingers and thumbs again today. No surprises there. Okay, that's enough just to hold it in place, so that's good. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to this is my front piece for the larger pocket. So again, just gonna, get my notch in so that I don't forget. Okay. I think that went slightly off to one side, but that's all right. And then I've got this piece, which is a thinner piece. So I'm only going to have this, it's basically like a belly band, this piece, so that whatever's in this pocket can go all the way down to the very bottom of the pocket. Otherwise you would end up with this teeny tiny little thing that you can't get much in, so need to make the most of the space we've got, of course. Okay. So I want to keep these sort of T-splodges that are on here, on the pattern. So we're going to have that there, this all the way to the very bottom, so just want to check where we would like that. Oops, make sure it's straight. Yeah, I think that's about fine. So I'm going to glue it on both sides, but again I'm only using a little bit of glue, so just along the two sides. And I was going just under that T-splodge, I believe. Make sure we're straight. There we go. And then we want to glue this piece on all three sides, because this is going to be the bottom of both this pocket and this pocket. So let's glue that down on the three sides. So yeah, thanks ever so much for everyone who's gotten involved with the giveaway. It's amazing. It's great that so many of you would like to be involved with it and receive a little something from me. Oops. And yeah, it's been great doing these videos with you, you know. So thanks so much for joining. Okay. Now I'm not too worried if the edges sort of don't exactly line up, although I did do my best to measure everything. I'm not very good at measuring, so I can trim bits off once everything is glued down. Okay, so that's the front panel. So this is the bit that I'm going to stitch before gluing it to the back, because if I were to stitch it straight through, then I'm going to ruin my gusset. So I'm going to stitch this first, and what I'll do is I'm going to do both together so that I can do the stitching at the same time. So I'm just going to put this to one side for now. It'll also help it to dry before putting it through my machine as well. And then this is the second one I'm going to make. Much the same idea, just slightly different scrapbook papers. So I've got this one with a nice bit of ivy, which is going to be the front of that large pocket. I've got this off cut of some Tim Holtz, which I thought would be nice with all the green and descriptive writing. Some more ivy to go as my bottom pocket, and then I've got this piece of vellum, which will be just over this nice bit of ivy at the bottom, so that you can still see it, you know, when the pocket's empty. So same again, we're going to put our notch in our vellum. Now the vellum doesn't necessarily need a notch. I'm only doing it so that all of the front pieces have notches in, you know, almost the same sort of place. Really mainly for looks, you know, for the vellum, it's just so that it ties in with the rest of it, to be honest. Okay, so once again we're going to pop the vellum down. Again, I'm just doing it in the four corners. Just little dollops of glue just to keep it in place. Okay. What I might do is, I'm wondering whether I should be inking these, you know, the tops of the pockets and things, because I'm probably going to ink the sides, so I'm wondering whether, shall we do that and then see if it makes a difference with the inking? Probably does. Let's just see. So if I ink around this one, there we go. Okay, and then we want to do my notches in these two. So again, find our middle. And oops, do the same with this one. So, you know, loaded pockets, they're not anything new. I'm not going to claim the idea, of course. This is just how I want to make mine, so I thought you might like to see the process. I've seen people do this kind of pocket with like book pages and things, so that's also an option. You don't have to use scrapbook paper. So yeah, I want to get this one down, and again I'm just going to glue it on the two sides. Now if I was just relying on glue, I would put a bit more glue on it, but because I'm going to stitch around, I don't think it needs a huge amount, so we want to go down. Just following the lines on the scrap of paper. There we go. Awesome. And then I didn't ink that one, did I? Hang on. I just suddenly thought if I'm inking this one, I best ink all of it. Otherwise it might look silly that some of it's inked and not all of it is. So I've just had my lunch, which is probably why my brain is feeling a little bit sluggish. But, you know, I was doing the prototype this morning, so unfortunately I couldn't film this morning because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing, you know, with the gusset and everything, because I've not done a pocket like this before, so wanted to make sure I was going to be able to show you exactly how to do it rather than trial and error, you know, which is fine for some projects, but I think something like this you probably want to see it exactly as best I can anyway. And then yeah, and then we're going to glue this on the 3 sides. I've already inked this one, haven't I? There we go. So yeah, these pockets, they're nothing fancy. The scrapbook paper mainly, you know, is doing all the sort of decorative element, but I am going to add to it a little bit, and I hope you like them once they're finished. Okay, so that's now glued on the 3 sides. There we go. So I'm just going to ink the top piece, just so that it's inked before it goes under the sewing machine, and then just along those sides there. What I might need to do is do a little bit of trimming. That's okay. Okay, here we go. So I've got those two. Essentially the 2 like front panels are done. So I'm just going to take these to my sewing machine, and I'm just going to go all 3 sides like this, not the top, but just once, twice, thrice, and then that will keep all of the pockets down for me, and then we can come back and do the gusseted back pocket. So I'm just going to pause and I'll be back in a jiffy. I'm not sure why I said jiffy. I don't often use that word, so I'm not sure why that one came out, but you know, hopefully it made you giggle. Alright, I'm back. I've got my panels stitched, so I basically just did a zigzag stitch all the way around, just like that, just capturing all the pockets. Did that on both. And then whilst I was on pause, I just distressed the edges of these pockets on this one, the first one I did, because I did think it did make a difference, especially with being able to see the vellum. So I just slipped some paper underneath and then just quickly did the edges, which I do think helps. So we're now ready to do the gusseted pocket at the back. So just so you know, I have changed the panels. Because I wasn't such a huge fan of this one inside. I mean, it's all right, but I wanted something a little bit more neutral, and I imagine that they'll probably be stuck down on a page when we come to use them, so I'm okay with that being purple. I just wanted it to be more neutral inside, so yeah, that's just a heads up on that one. So we're going to do the gusset. So on my prototype I did scrapbook paper, but I think it made it too bulky. So I'm going to use music sheet. The only reason I'm using music sheet is because I have a lot of scraps of it that need using up. It's decorative, and also it's stronger than copy paper. So we still want something relatively strong, but just not as bulky as scrapbook paper. So that's why I'm using music sheet. You could use book pages, you could use digitals, you could use any kind of paper, just perhaps maybe something a little bit stronger than copy paper is what you're after. So let's do this one first of all. Now these are a little bit short, so I'll be able to get a gusset up to this point, which is okay because that's where the stitching is anyway. So to make your gusset, you'll want a long strip to go down the side, and you want it to be, it's about 1 inch or so. This one is just shy of 1 inch and 1/16, but yeah, about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. Okay, and then you want to fold it over lengthways so that it's relatively in half, but it doesn't have to be exact, you know, completely exact. I'm just gonna, where is my bone folder? I seem to have misplaced my bone folder, so I'm gonna have to use the good old scissors until I can find that. So, okay, so you want to bend that down. So that is going to be one gusset, and then you want to get the other one. Is that the same length? Yep, the same length. And then you want to do the same. So fold that other strip in half lengthways. Ooh. So that again, it's relatively in half. Again, doesn't have to be completely exact. And you can always trim off bits if you want as well. Okay, so so you've got your 2 strips. Now you want to butt up the folded edge against the side of your paper so that you have the opening side facing inwards like this. So you can see I've got both of the fold creases on the outside with the like flappy bits on the inside, just like that. Hopefully you can see what I mean. Okay, so first of all we're going to stick them down this side down onto the back panel. So I'm just using my tacky glue, but you could use, you know, various types of glue all the way down, using enough glue so that it's nice and strong. And as I say, we're going to butt it up against the other side. Now I'm going right to the top. I know this piece doesn't go all the way down. I'm all right with that, but I want it completely up to the top so that when you open the pocket, you can obviously see the music page. Just making sure I've got that. Yes, I do. It's the right way around. Okay, now you want to do the piece on the other side. So again, you want the folded edge on the outside. So we want to glue this half. Oops. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. Let's butt up against the end as we can, so we get a nice roomy pocket in the back. Make sure we're not going over. All fine. We're going to ink the edges anyway. Okay, now we're going to glue the front panel onto these 2 pieces here. I'm just checking everything is good size-wise. Yeah, looking good. Okay, so pop some glue on your in this case music sheet or whatever paper you've got along these sides here. Alright, and then we're going to pop our panel, and actually don't forget to do your bottom. There we go, just along here as well. Perfect, okay. And then we're going to pop this panel over the top, sliding into place so everything's aligning. Any loose threads from the sewing machine are tucked safely away inside. Okay, just going to press that along there. Alright, let's see if it is doing what we want. So, yep, there you go. You've got a nice big opening, and as you can see, I've not glued my bottom very well, but that's okay. I can just sneak in with some more glue. What we might need to do, because we're using the tacky glue, is just pop it under something heavy and just leave it to dry until you want to start using it. I just wanted to show you that the gusset was, you know, working. So yeah, we're going to leave that to dry until we want to start using it. But as you can see, holding the bottom, as you can see, the music page gives you a nice gusset, so that you can get a nice roomy pocket in the back once everything is glued. So alright, so I'm going to just leave that to one side just to let it dry, and we can move on to our next one. So we're going to do the same thing. So I've got my music sheet, and I'm just going to fold it in half lengthways. As I say, you could use any type of paper for this. You just want something relatively strong, but not, you know, not too bulky. And remember, you are going to see these strips when you open up your pocket, which may or may not bother you, but if it is going to bother you, then obviously you might want to use something that is like decorative or blends in nicely, or something like that. Okay, so once again, we want the folded outside edge to the outside edge here, with the two flappy bits facing inwards, and same here, and we're just going to glue again. So once these two are built up, I've then got some ideas for how we can decorate them up, just simply. And then, to be honest, I'm wondering whether that will probably end up being a video for today. I do have some more pieces that I want to make for in the pockets, but I wanted to get the pockets done so that I could see how much room I've got. So I don't know if I'll make more on camera, or whether I'll just get going with it and then show you afterwards, because I don't think I'm going to make a huge amount more for them, because obviously I've got all the vintage ephemera I want to add. So I'll probably grab some tags from the kit, and mainly work with those, I think, and then that way I'm not adding lots of extra bulk as well. So once again, you've got your folded edge to the outside, but up against your back panel. Okay, and then glue down the gussets, and then add the front panel again. So once you get the hang of which way round the gusset has to go, these are easy pockets to make. Nice and roomy, without being ridiculously bulky. And then of course you've got all the pockets for adding into. Right, I've got some loose threads there, so I'm just gonna see if I can fold them under. Oh, I need to do the bottom again. Doing my bottom. I think I put so much emphasis on getting the gusset right that I forget that the bottom also needs to be glued down. Okay, right, just aligning everything up. Any loose threads from the sewing machine, I will chop them off, because obviously everything's glued in, so don't need to worry about any threads coming undone or anything. I had a bit of a blip with my sewing machine today. I think the needle needed changing, so I had lots of skipped stitches that I was trying my hardest to correct and everything. But you know, these things happen. Okay, there we go. Alright, so yeah, I just need to leave these to dry, I think. They just need a bit more glue drying time. But aside from that, they are good to go. Where's the other one? Here it is. So I'm just going to pause the video whilst those dry. Yeah, I'm just going to pause it whilst they dry a bit more, and then we'll get to decorating them. I do have some ideas. I've got some labels here that came from Nanine's kit, and I've got some birds and some leaf stickers and stuff. I think that will be enough for these, because I don't want to overload them, because obviously at the end of the day they have to. I don't want anything to get in the way of the pockets. Anyway, so I'm really looking for my bone folder, because I would like to put it in the pockets to show you. I'll find my bone folder whilst I've got you on pause as well. So I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so these are now nicely glued down, I think, and they're nice and flat. What I will do when I'm finished with them is I will put them under something heavy as well, just in case. Okay, I found my bone folder as well. It was hiding underneath my ruler, so I was just going to show you. We've got this nice deep pocket in the back here with the gusset. We have a pocket here which goes all the way down to the very bottom of the all the way down here. Got one, oops, can't get my bone folder in, one here, and then the little vellum pocket in the front. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets out of something that is relatively flat on the page. So I think that's not too bad. Obviously we need to fill them and that's going to add bulk, but you know. So yeah, I want to keep decoration to a relative minimum, just because, you know, if we are going to be adding all the ephemera, we don't want to add bulk just to the general decoration. So this is the kind of thing I was thinking. So these labels are from Nanine's kit, the Birds and Botanicals kit that I've been working with. And I've printed them onto linen effect paper, which has given them a really nice texture. Sorry, I was just checking whether I wanted that one that way. I've got this little bird fussy cut from a book to go on the front of this vellum pocket, because this one's relatively plain. This, obviously, I don't want to cover up the ivy too much. And then I was just going to see if I should use some of these leafy stickers, again, just to give it a little bit more excitement. So I was looking at ones to potentially go behind this bird, you know, because obviously if he was a bird in real life, he'd be at home in the trees, you know. So I was kind of thinking, oops, could there be something in that vein? So I'm just having a little look, different options I've got. Oops. Don't want to go overboard, as I say, but yeah. Quite like the fern, and then I've also got this one as well, which has sort of a nice slant to it. But yeah, I think the fern. No, I like the slanty one. So how about we go with that for that one? And then I was just trying to see if maybe we needed something up here for this one. Again, I'm using the stickers just because I do think they, you know, they add something decorative without being too much in the way of the pocket, because obviously, you know, we are going to be putting things inside them, whilst also, you know, just, yeah, giving it that decorative edge, I suppose. I'm just going to try one more, and then I think we are finished with those. Yeah, see, sort of goes over too much, I think, on that one. But yeah, I'm liking the ferns. Not so sure about this one, but then I sort of think, you know, that one's probably a bit too wide. Kind of feel like it needs something else, but then I have to remind myself, you know, we are going to be putting all the ephemera in, so I'm trying very hard not to overthink it. I know I'm very guilty of that. So if you are in the overthinking crowd, you're not alone. That is 100% me. But yeah, I'm trying very hard not to do that too much. And of course, I've got this dilemma now of trying to unpeel this sticker whilst you're watching. The pressure is on. Once again, just, yeah, amuse yourselves. Whilst I battle with this sticker. Right, 2 secs. Alright, I'm back. It's a good job I paused. I was battling with those stickers for about 5 minutes, so I've done both of them just so I could spare you the trouble of watching me. And then I'm just going to get these bits and bobs down, and then I'm going to have a look at them and just see if they need, oops, if they need anything else. For example, on this one on the right, I'm wondering, may want a bird on it. I'm not sure yet, so may want a little birdie. Now, because I'm putting this bird on the vellum, I'm going to use the 3-in-1, just because I think it might take to the vellum a little bit better. It's kind of cute. He looks like he's standing on top of my little stitching. Don't think I got his feet, so just bear with me. Okay. There we go. I think I'll need to go in with the fine tip in a bit, but for now that'll do. I wanted to keep them relatively neutral whilst still being decorative, you know, but which I think is helped by the scrapbook papers. Obviously I chose, you know, relatively decorative ones. Okay, there we go. So that's those bits done. So I'm just having a look. Do I want anything else? Now with this one, I do feel like something's possibly missing there, but equally, you know, once you start putting the ephemera in, it's, you know, it is going to be looking fine. So I think that's all right. And then this one, I quite like it as it is, really. I sort of thought, should I be putting a bird or something there? But I don't know if it needs it. I'm just going to look just in case, and then that way I'm 100% sure. I'm just using these birds as an example. Yeah, I think it just sort of detracts from it a bit, I think. I mean, it doesn't look bad with the bird. Just going to have a little look just to see. Oops. I could also use some butterflies. It doesn't have to be a bird. I cut out a load of butterflies the other day, which are typically at the bottom of my box. Just going to have a little look. I quite like that bird actually, you know. I quite like him there. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something I'm not used to, which is I'm just going to go with it before I change my mind. Can't believe it. Yeah, it's very different. Okay, let's just ink him up, and then I think that will be, I think I'll leave it there, and then once I start adding in the ephemera, if I find that it needs more, then obviously I can add to it, but I think for now, you know, I'm pretty happy with how they look. As I say, I don't want them to be, you know, super bulky, because obviously it, you know, the point is that the ephemera is going to be in there and stuff, so I don't really want to put anything too in the way of the pockets if I can help it. Alright, well I hope that was useful. It's one of those things that when you start filming a video in bits, is you don't know how it's necessarily going to turn out, of like, you know, have I repeated myself a few times, or have I definitely shown you all the steps? But I think hopefully it will come out okay. And yeah, I think I'll leave them like that for now. So if you do have a favourite out of these, then obviously you're more than welcome to comment in this video and let me know which one is your favourite. But you know, don't worry about it too much, because yeah, if you've already entered the giveaway, then obviously the main important thing is going to be the ephemera inside. But if you do have a favourite, do let me know. And I think, yeah, that will be the last video, I think, for the giveaway. Obviously the next video will be announcing the winner. And then obviously when I do that, I'll show you how everything looks together. So these pockets will make an appearance again, of course, and then I'll show you how all of the ephemera looks like inside. You know, inside them. I think I'll probably leave the giveaway open until I'm thinking the end of the month. That gives you, gives people another couple of weeks to get involved. No, that seems like too long. I think we're on the 14th of October at the moment, so if we go with another week, so up to the 21st of October, that's when the giveaway will close. And then obviously I can come on and draw the winner out of a hat and show you how everything looks. But for now, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you like them. I hope this was useful to see how I made, the different pockets and, especially that gusset at the back. I think that is, I think that's really useful to have, because that's going to be a nice broad pocket there, which we can get some stuff in. So, all right, I'll leave it there. I'm blabbering as per usual. Thanks so much for watching as always, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye now.